you want to level up your UI animation inside Davinci Resolve? In this video, I'm going to show you how to animate this Apple style art inside Davinci Resolve. This video is inspired by editwithtrix. You can check out his YouTube channel if you use After Effects. Let's get started. In the edit page of Davinci Resolve, we're going to leave the timeline settings. If I go to settings, you're going to see it's 1920 by 1080, 24 frames per second. So you just leave that like that, and this is the clip. So we're going to bring this here. What I want to do is go to effects, drag and drop a fusion composition, make it similar as this clip. It's about 9 seconds. Right click on that and open in fusion page. In the fusion page, I'm just going to make sure that I increase my workspace so that I have a lot of space. First thing is get a background node. Connect your background node to your media app. I'm just going to input the Apple white color here. You can copy this color code. I'm just gonna click OK, and the next thing is we have to create this rectangle. So I'm going to come here, get a background node, get another background node, connect this background to this one, and I'm going to get a rectangle mask. I'm going to connect the rectangle mask to this background, and in this background I'm going to make the background color black. Make sure I'm viewing that here. So in the rectangle, I'm just going to bring the size down like that. Just going to make it fit this one. I can move it this way like that, increase the width somewhere around here, and I just increase the corner radius. But this one, I think it works. Yeah, so we have that. If you look around here, you see there's a drop shadow. I'm just going to shift space drop shadow. You can copy these drop shadow settings. That's what we are going to use. So we have to create 4 of these. What I'm going to do is just control this one, control C, control V again, paste it here, control V, control V. Gonna connect this one here, connect this one here, connect this one here, and I'm just going to make sure that this background color I'm going to use, pick this one over here and make sure I move the rectangle to where it's supposed to be. And this one, I'm just gonna move it up to where it's supposed to be. This one, I do the same thing. Now I'm just going to change the background color of each and every one of them. Each and every one of them, I'm going to pick the last color there. On this rectangle, we have to add all of this. So I'm going to disconnect this one from here, bring this one to this side like that. I'm going to get a background node, connect this one here, make sure I'm viewing this one here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add this one. So what do I need? I get a background node, I get an ellipse mask, connect the ellipse mask to the background node. In the ellipse, I'm going to create an expression at width, connect the width to the height, and I'm going to size that down. I'm just going to move it to somewhere at the corner here. I'm going to change the background color to white. I'm going to connect that there. Now I'm going to get a text node. Let's shift this one here. The text node, I'm just going to write a plus sign. Make sure I'm viewing that here. The plus sign is supposed to be. I'm going to change the color to black, and I'm going to move it up here. Yeah, I think that does okay. Now we have to add this wallet. I'm going to get another text node. This one, I'm going to write wallet. I'm going to connect that here. Just make sure I create space here. And in this text note, I'm going to change the font to the Apple font, which is San Francisco Pro Display. Just gonna make sure I'm viewing that there. So this one, we can then reduce the size like that. You make sure that it is aligned, like up here, everything is aligned. Let's go with 0.05. So we are going to add this $50 million. I'm going to control C this one and control V here, and I'm going to add that, connect, merge that over there. Here I'm going to write the dollar sign and 50 million. So I'm going to bring that down here, somewhere around here. You can change the text to 0.05. I think that is better. So next thing I want to do, I'm going to go to my media pool, drag and drop this money back, and close this one, connect this money back here. It's quite huge, so we are going to have to size that down. Size it down like that, and then take it to the side. We're going to take it down, make sure it fits there, like make sure you align it to this one. And next thing we are going to do is we're going to create this bar loading. So we are going to get a background node, get a polygon mask, connect a polygon to the background and the background to this merge node. And this one, we can just come to the polygon and click here, hold down shift and click here. I'm just going to change the background color to white. So come to the polygon, uncheck solid and increase the border with that. Maybe we increase it again to somewhere around 0.01. I think this one is okay. So what we have to do now is we're going to shift this one because you see there's another one loading. So we do Control C and Control V. So we're going to merge this one over here, and this one we're going to make a background color, gradient color. With the first color is going to be this dark blue color here, and the second one is going to be this light blue one. Let's change that one to this one. Good. I think that's okay. Let's just build the entire scene and then we can animate everything at once. So the next thing is, let's get this card from here. I'm just going to name this one card, and this one is money bag. So I'm just gonna connect this one here. If you're viewing that here, okay, you see that the card is too big. So we're going to come to the merge node. I'm using the merge node because we don't have too much of something to do with this one. I'm just gonna bring it down here and make sure that take it up again. I think somewhere around there it's okay. That size is better. So now let's get into the fun part of it. Let's animate all of this. I'm just going to arrange a few things. What I want to do is I'm going to connect this. I'm going to disconnect this one from here. I'm going to move this one up here like that. I'm going to get a background node, connect it to the background here, and then you can merge this one over here. Why am I doing this? Because we can add glue. All this, we're going to add glue to all this, so we can just add a single glue node here, and it's going to glue all of this stuff. That's why I did that. So then we can come down here and shift this to the side, bring this merge node here and connect this one here. And if we are viewing that, boom, everything is in place as we want, and we can then merge it over here and we're viewing it in our media out. Let's start from the last rectangle. So the first thing is come to frame 0. We're going to keyframe this, the center X and Y value. Go to frame 15. That one takes a longer time. Keyframe it again. Go to frame 0. You're going to take the Y value down. Go to the second one. Go to frame 0. Keyframe the center X and go to frame 11. We're just going to space them out. So maybe go to frame 13, keyframe that, go back to frame 0 and take it all the way down. Go to the second one, keyframe the center X and Y at frame 10, go to frame 0, keyframe it again and take it down to 0. Take it down like that out of the screen. Now if you go to frame 8, you see that all of this is controlled by, we have to add a transform node here. So come here, add a transform node here, make sure it's connected at frame 0, keyframe the center X and Y value, go to frame 8 where it's in place, keyframe it, go back to the first one and you move it out of the way like that. So you're done with that one. Let's get to animate this one. Let's start from the $50 million text. Come here to the 50 million. If you look at it, you're going to see that it's a follower modifier here. Follower. So we're going to right click here and hit follower. Go to the modifier. I always like to increase the delay before I start. So I'm going to come to shading. Let's see where it starts. So it starts about frame 3. So we're just going to keyframe the opacity at frame 3. We can go to like frame 7, keyframe the opacity again. Now we're going to go to transform at frame 7. We're going to keyframe the Z rotation and go to frame 3 again. We're going to keyframe the Z rotation again. Now at frame 3, this one we can just, yeah, you see how we can just look at it here. Let me zoom to fit. So you see this is, I take it minus 55 is my Z rotation at frame 0. Now if you go back to frame, it's gonna go straight. Okay, it's gonna be straight. So we go to the opacity and take the opacity at frame 3, take it down to 0. We're just going to come to the delay and make sure that we increase the delay here. See, only 50, it's only 50 is visible. And I'm going to come back to this one. I'm going to come here and I'm going to increase this rotation again. Let's make sure it rotates well. Good. So if you come here and you play it now, yeah, good. We can now move to this polygon, this loading bar, and you see that the bar loads from frame 4. So go to frame 4, go to this polygon with the gradient background, keyframe the length, and go to where it stopped, which is about frame 28. Keyframe it again, go back to the first keyframe, that's frame 4, and take it all the way down to 0. When you do that, you're going to see that there is space here. So you are going to keyframe the level value, go back 1 frame, that's frame 3, and take it down to 0 so it does not appear at that time. The next one is this card that bounces up like that. So we're going to come to the merge node, frame 4 keyframe the signs, and we're going to go to where it bounces and stop. So come to frame 25 keyframe, you can go back to the first one, take it down to 0. I think that is okay for that is everything we have to. Good. Yeah, that's everything. So in the card, we're just going to take the merge node to spline, zoom to fit, select all, and you're going to select out back cubic. It's going to create like this mountain here. That's what is going to cause the bounce. So if I play it now, good, you see it bounce. At the end of it, we're just going to come here to this one and turn on motion blur. So I'm just going, you see that's the effect of motion blur. You already see that. I'm going to leave that for now and we are going to come back to it. So I'm just going to uncheck high quality, uncheck motion blur, and use proxy, use auto proxy as it. I just wanted to show you the effect of motion blur. What we have to do next is this thing coming out of off screen. So if you see it starts from frame 26. We need to add another transform node here. This transform node is going to control the entire thing moving out of the screen. So at frame 26, we're going to keyframe here the center X and Y, and we're going to keyframe this. We're going to keyframe this one, keyframe this, the blend value of this merge node here. Now if we go forward from like frame 30, we keyframe the blend value here, and then maybe let's go frame 30 here, keyframe the center here again. You're going to see if we take it down like that, yeah, I can just come here because you see it comes down from the side. You just come here, yeah, and move it like that. So now in this merge node, we have to take the blend value at the first one, the blend value at frame 30 to 0. So that's our first scene. So now if I just zoom this all in, so let's say we want to do some arrangement, I'm just going to select all that, shift space underlay. I'm going to select the underlay and I'm going to set the underlay color. For this second scene, what we're going to do is I'm going to get a background node, get another background node, get a rectangle mask, connect this one here and this one here. In this background, I'm going to make the background color black. I changed my default background to a background with alpha value 0. I think working with that way it's easier. I'm just going to size this rectangle like that, reduce the height, reduce this one, and I'm just going to bring up the corner radius to somewhere around here. I'm going to make sure I'm viewing this. Make sure you mark this place frame 60. So we're going to build this at frame 60. Okay, cool. Next thing we want to do is get a background node, get a polygon mask. We've done this before, so you're going to connect the polygon to the background to this one, make the background color white, and I'm going to select the polygon, click here, hold down shift and click here so that you have a straight line. I'm going to uncheck this animation here, uncheck solid, and just increase the border width to something around, I think that one is too big, let's use 0.05. Good. There is an ellipse here, so what do we do with the ellipse? Connect it here. Why am I connecting here? Because I'm going to add, eventually we are going to add grow, and so we're going to size that down, bring that here, make changes color to red. And okay, you see this Porsche logo here. I'm going to bring that into our workflow, and I'm going to bring the car here. I'm just going to quickly name that F2, that is a car, the Porsche car. And this one, I'm going to name it logo. After connecting all of that, I'm going to make sure I'm viewing that here. Good. I'm going to add a transform node, and from the transform node I can then size it down like that. I'm going to bring it here, add a rectangle mask to this one, and make sure it cuts off only the Porsche logo. So go to the rectangle, I'm going to take it up, and from here now I can then move this to the side like that, then the size down. Yeah, I think that this we're just going to use 0.5 as the size. Yeah, that is the location. I'm going to get a text node. I'm going to change the font to the Apple font, and I'm going to connect it here. And here you're going to write arriving soon. So we can then go to the text. We can then take it up to somewhere around here and shift it to the side like that. Then I'm going to control C this text here, because the same control V here. Going to connect it here, and here I'm going to your Porsche. It's on its way. I will just bring this one down here. I'm just gonna size that down like a lot. Size it down. So I have that now. I think we have everything we need. We made an error here because if you look at it, the background is still white. So we didn't have to keyframe it from here. We had to keyframe it from here. So let me just correct that mistake. So it's frame because it falls down to back to the white background. So the background is not supposed to be taken out. And take this one down here. Problem solved. Now if you look at it, let's go to animating this second scene. If you look at it, you see that okay, this one comes in the text. What I used here was blur, but that does not look nice to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just use a follower modifier. Shout out to Supercut and the Victor YouTube channel for bringing out this new method. So what we're going to do now is Control C, and up here we're going to Control Shift V. We're going to paste an instance. So I'm going to make sure I'm viewing this one for you to understand what I'm saying. Then we are viewing this one here. So you go to shading in the instance node. Go to shading. An instance is if you change anything in the instance node, it changed in the text node. So they are connected. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the first element in the instance node, and we're going to the instance the first, which is white solid fill, and we're going to the instance the number fifth element. We're going to check that, and we are going to uncheck the first one. Now you go to this one, you're going to change the appearance to this box type. Then you're going to go down, you see extend horizontal, you're going to bring it down. You change it from character to word, and then you're just going to bring it down till it appears character word by word. Good. Now we have that. You're going to go back to your text, right click and choose follower. It opens this modifier here. You're going to click modifier. You're going to go to shading and go to the fit element and check the fit element. So now this text can come in word by word and fit in. You don't need to use rectangles as I used to do before. Now get the output of this instance and connect it to the mask section of your text. Now we go back to our main screen. In the instance node, go to frame 35, keyframe the opacity, and frame 40, keyframe the opacity again. Go back to frame 35. You can take the opacity down to 0. But this we are going to go to transform. Make sure I change it from character to word. So I'm going to go to frame 35, keyframe the center, the offset X and Y, then go to frame 45, keyframe that again, go to the first one, and you can take it down like that. Now you go back to, if you go back to let's just, that's too far. If you go back to shading and take it down to 0. Now let's go to the timing and see what we have done here. So we are just going to, let's find out where, okay, good. Yeah, I think that is better. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to animate this, do the same thing for this one. So I'm going to do the same thing for this. Your Porsche is on its way. It's going to appear word by word. So I'm just going to come to this text, Control C and Control Shift V. We're going to paste an instance. In the instance, we're going to go to element 5, the instance that, go to element 1, the instance 8, uncheck this one, come back here. You can select all of this, take them to spline. Make sure I select all of that, take them to spline. Is out cubic. Yeah, I think that's okay for that one. Good. Yeah, for us to animate our Porsche at frame 45, we're going to keyframe the size, go to frame 39, go to frame 939, keyframe the size again, and at frame 39, you're going to take the size down to 0. So you're going to go to spline. You see there's a bounce. If you look at it, there's a bounce effect on the logo. So you're going to zoom to fit, select all, and make sure you hit out back cubic. So it gives you, this is what is going to give you the bounce you need as it. Good. So now the next thing is to animate this car coming in. So we're going to come to the transform node. But before we get to the other one, let's add a transform node here. And I see that this, so we're just going to keyframe this one, keyframe the blend value in the polygon, keyframe both of them, and go to where they are fully visible. Maybe around frame 34, keyframe that one, come here, from here, keyframe that one, go to the first one, take it down to 0, and this one you take it down to 0 too. Now we are going to add transform node here. Make sure that we are viewing that. We are going to add a transform node here. In this transform, I'm just going to zoom it until it is full like that. Boom. And we're just going to keyframe that size at that point. So now we go to at frame 32, come to the car, keyframe the center X and Y. Then you're going to go to the end of it, let's say frame 60, and you're just going to move this to the side like that. No, yeah, and make sure that at this point it is out of the screen. Good, that's what you want. Now you go to, I'm sure it's, so you go to frame 60, keyframe the size, go back to frame at frame 32, keyframe this one, go to frame 60, keyframe it again at frame 60. You're just going to change this size till it's back to normal, which is this one. Good, so that's what we have done there. If you look at it now, boom, yes. So now what we can then do is we can then connect this one here and make sure we are watching this here. Boom. So if you go back, you will see that it's covering the screen. So what do? We're going to come to this merge node, go to frame 26, and here we're going to keyframe this one, the blend value. Come back here, it ends at frame 30. We're going to keyframe this. Let's just say, let's go like 1-2 frames forward. We're going to come to this one and keyframe this one here. So come to the first one and take it down to 0. Boom. So if we play this one now, you see the transition happens. Good. See that transition then happens. If you want, we can then take this one to spline is out cubic. Let's find out if it's a better animation. Let's use S. So yeah, S is better. We have a slow, yes, slow and steady. Now this is where it gets okay, cool. So the next thing you have to do is this rectangle closing up. If you look at it here, the rectangle closes up, stops here, like from here it closes up like that. Yeah, so we have to do that. Yeah, and bounces up. We are gonna get a merge node here, so I'm going to disconnect this one from here. I'm gonna just make sure that I bring this one down here. Let's just select all of this, and we're going to shift space underlay, connect that one here. Boom. Let's get a background node here, so that if we add a mask here, yes, it controls everything. So if we need to add a mask here, but I'm going to show you a trick. So you see that the mass is moving. It's as if this rectangle is the mass. So what we are going to do is I'm going to come to this rectangle at frame 59. I'm going to keyframe the width and then come to frame 70 and reduce the size like that. You see it's reducing. It's not happening as a mask. So if you reduce it like that, see it fits that one. Yes, so we have to keyframe this, the height too, and yeah, so now everything outside this one is going to show. So what do? I'm going to come here, control C this rectangle and control shift V to paste it as a mask, and we are going to connect it to the mask section of this one. Take this background to this side and boom, you have cut it off. Look at it now. That is where the source is. You see it moving like that. It cuts up everything. Good. And I'm going to add a transform node here. All what is visible here now, we need to take it out of this box. That's why I'm adding a transform node. But let's do it. At frame 70, we're going to come to this transform node. We're going to keyframe the center X, and frame 73, we're going to keyframe this again. Move this one up just a little bit up. Yeah, I think that works. Yeah, so it makes space for that buy button. So let's take it up again. We come to this one. Yeah, I think it's this one. Yeah, this one. So we're going to come to this one, and we're going to add a transform node here. Frame 73, I'm going to keyframe the center and go to where it is. It starts moving out of the screen. Frame 65, we're going to keyframe it, go to frame 73, and you move it out of the screen like that. You have that. With that, we can then go into spline with this one, hit S. We're just going to select all S. We don't want to do it too much, so zoom to fit is out a bit. So this one has already been, yep, we have done this one before. All of these transform nodes, we are going to turn on motion blur at the end of it. If you turn on motion blur now, it's gonna make your workflow so slow. You can't play it back. For this car, I'm going to use S. I don't want it to be that fast. Yeah, we have the same thing now. So boom, I have a watch here. I already animated it, but if you want to know how to animate these 3D objects, let me know in the comment section. So this is the watch. We're going to add a transform node to that watch there. So we have to, yeah, I think that this one would go up, this one would go up, and then this merge node, I will disconnect this merge node from here. I will bring it here, then I will bring a background node here. I'm using a lot of background. Just stay with me. If you stay with me, you could understand what I'm doing. This the main thing here is to try to understand how these things work, how these nodes work. Yeah, if you understand them, if you're able to catch how they work. Why am I connecting this one here? Because if you look at it, there's a transform node that takes it out of the screen here, takes it out of the screen and controls the size. So all of this has to be, including the watch, has to be controlled by a single transform node. So I need to add a transform node here that is going to control the size. Like a transform node needs to be here control the size of this stuff. So I might just do some little disorganization here, but you get what I'm saying. So now we can connect this one here, right? No, not yet. So we need to get a background node here and get a rectangle mask. If you want to know how I animated this watch, let me know in the comment section. I'm going to do a video on how you can animate 3D objects inside Davinci Resolve. My microphone died while I was recording this. This is what I've done. So after you've written the buy, you're going to connect it like this. Then you're going to reduce the size of the watch from here. You're going to reduce the size to about 0.35. If you reduce the fast size, you get this one. You get the size here. You see that it has a bounce effect. You're going to animate this one. At frame 70, you're going to keyframe the size, and at frame 85, you keyframe it again. For this buy button, you're going to see that it starts from here, scales up, bounces, and goes back down, goes up here. So it's just go to spine. You're going to see that it's this one, is it back cubic. Same thing for this watch, Apple Watch. But you see that the Apple Watch, I did the animation. If I show you only the Apple Watch, you're going to see that the animation starts from this first frame. But what I've done is that for the animation to start from frame 70, and you're going to take this one to frame 70 or frame 69. Good. Frame 69, from frame 69, the animation can then start at that point. Okay, this transform node here is going to control the movement out of the screen, like it goes down like this. So what do we have here? You're going to see that I keyframe the size and the center X and Y at this point. So on this frame 110, I keyframe it again. and you see that the pivot point has been changed to about down here. Why? Because if you look at it here, the size reduce it downward. That's it. So I started creating this one, my microphone that I'm going to show you the video of my microphone dying. So that's a shame, but it's not something I'm not done here. So I just used a polygon. I created this line, click here and then hold down shift and you click here. Then you can use a duplicate. In the duplicate, you just change the offset, the point here. You get a text node, just add these dashes, and in the layout you're going to change it from point. It's always at point. You're going to change it from point to path. So you're going to click here, hold down shift and click here. Now you're going to import your car here. I'm going to name that f2 car 2. Anything you don't understand, let me know in the comment section. So I didn't realize until it was almost late, but it was never too late. What we have to do now is, okay, we see this one coming in like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to this text node and we're going to remove this up. Okay, yeah, we're going to come to where it starts at frame 1010. We're going to go to path, keyframe the path, and we're going to go to about frame 175, keyframe it again. Let's take it down like that, and if it doesn't work, we're going to invert it. Let's just take it down like so. If I play that now, I'm not gonna smoothen it. It's just gonna good. It's better. Okay, our car comes in at frame, let's say frame 115. Come to the transform node, keyframe the center x and y of this transform node, and okay, you see that it comes in. When it comes in at frame 130, it stops, goes like 5 frames, 150 starts moving again. So then you can take it all the way up to on frame 70. Yes, you can then take it all the way up to a point like this one. So now we are going to keyframe the blend. So we just come here. This was a small animation. We just come here at frame 170. You're going to, in this merge node, you're going to keyframe the blend. Go 1 frame backwards, keyframe the blend. Go to the frame 170, take the blend down to 0. If we are watching the final thing, okay, then let's go to where it starts at frame 111, keyframe the blend value, take it down to 0. Go 1 2 3, I think at frame 116, take it all the way up to 1. So this is what you have. We are then just going to come to this text and make sure that our color is right. We are using the right color. Good. Boom. And let's just make sure that I copy this color code here, Control C, so we have like something uniform, and come here, Control B. Now we can come to this text, increase the line spacing like that, and if you play that now, no, it's going in the same direction as the car, so that is not the what we want. We're going to come to this text, we're going to select all and reverse. So if we, yeah, it's coming in opposite direction. Good. So that's it. Now we don't want this car stopping. What I'm going to do to this car is I'm going to take this, I'm going to go to spline, I'm going to select this one. I'm going to move this point to about frame 180. I don't want this car stopping, so that will be an easy giveaway. So, and let's try to make sure that this car stops here, because this one, let's just make sure that we give the same value to this one. Control C, go to the next one, Control V. So if we play that now, whoop, stops. Good. So now we have to add this one. We have to add this. We're going to get that emoji from here and merge it over here. As we merge it over here, yeah, it's going to appear like that. So, and the next part is this iMessage. This one of get a background note. So if you play it now, the yeah, you have that. Yeah, it goes out, and then you see the car comes in, and then what your car, your Porsche is on the way. The rectangle shrinks. The watch comes in, and it shows by bounce down. Then the road appears. The emoji appears. The name appears, and the road is moving. The car is moving on the road, and good. It goes out. Why did they fail? And the reason is boom, so you get your animation. Now we have glow on the first and the second scene. So the first and the second scene, we're going to go back there. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.